He believes that a man should be a man. He believes that man should lead, women should follow. He believes that men should improve. He believes in not having negativity in your life. He believes that a man has to go through struggles in order to become the man that he needs to be. He says, you know, if you ever heard of stoicism and practice stoicism, life is tough. Deal with it. Put a smile on your face and go kick some ass. And the dude's a badass. And he talks about basically escaping the matrix, basically getting out of the system of government, the world global organizations, and just escaping from that and doing everything you can as a man to be the best man you can be, and the best version of yourself. A lot of the controversy surrounding him is kind of how he says, you know, a man's the leader, the woman follows him. If you become this upper echelon man, this great man, this high value man, yeah, you're probably entitled to multiple women. That's where people have said, what? Okay, so a lot of controversy with that. He also basically, can I just read you a couple quotes right there, and I'll get your thoughts on the other side. So specifically, this is what Andrew Tate has said about women. He says, number one, women are the most beautiful creatures on the planet. They should be protected and provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill, and I would fight 10 men if they disrespected my woman. He says this, let's talk about gender roles. A man has certain roles in society, and a woman has certain roles in society. When we work as a team and we love each other, society is better as a whole. Respect. He said women, they're not as calm as men under stress. They can't fight like men, and they're not as good drivers as men. Basically, he caught a lot of slack about that. He said at the same time, he wouldn't drop off his children in an all-male nursery. He said that'd be very weird, okay? So he's got very strong feelings on traditional gender roles. A lot of his upbringing is in the Middle Eastern, so he's kind of more traditional, conventional, conservative type values. And a lot of people are offended by that, especially people on the left, especially people on the woke. This isn't a political show, but we're talking about Tate.
Does he share that he is religious in any way?
He says he's a man of God.
Man of God, but no allegiance to a specific religion.
He says he's an Orthodox Christian.
Yeah, I believe he's more of the Christian faith, but he has a lot of Muslim friends.
Okay.
And now he's got a Jewish friend, so shout out to the Jews out there. But Jen, you said you're somewhat familiar with him.
Yes. I mean, I've obviously heard the name. I've heard certain controversies. A lot of what you just mentioned, I don't see personally anything wrong with. However, I don't know his whole story, so I can't commit to being in support.
You've seen his clips before, ever?
I've seen your clips with him, but the name I've heard the name.
So what have you heard about him?
That he just basically what you said, that he's had some controversial things. I'm not big on more than one wife. I'll tell you that.
Okay, because he says he has 5.
Okay, and that's great. That's great for him. And something that I think we need to all keep in perspective with this whole man-woman thing, and whether we agree or disagree, it has a lot to do with our culture and where we're from. This man is from the Middle East.
Yeah. No, he's from America.
Or he's
from America. He lives in Europe.
Romania?
He lives in Romania, though. Okay. But he has some influence of the Middle East, but he's not from there. But he does have...
What were his parents? What are his parents? Do we know?
Father was black American. Mother was white British.
Oh,
so he's an American Brit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just say that I think a lot of it depends on our upbringing. Someone mentioned this earlier. Our upbringing, how we're raised,
Chelsea,
our culture,
our values,
where he has spent a majority of his life. I don't know if it was America or in the Middle East. I think that has a lot to do with everything, our way of thinking, the choices that we make. So again, while some of what you shared, I agree with, but I won't align either way with it until I know his whole entire
Gotcha.
story.
So what I respect about you is you're not just going to rush to judgment on somebody that you don't know. Let me find out. But that's the biggest problem with him. Meaning that's the biggest problem that he's dealt with is that a lot of people, we did a 5-hour interview. 5-hour interview. 98% of it, I'm like, yeah, totally agree. Okay. Maybe there was 2% of it where I was like, yeah, bro, but you did say da 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 da.
Right.
But someone will take that 2%, chop it up. Andrew Tate hates women.
With no context.
With no context whatsoever. And that's that's what we live in today. And that's the sad reality of where we're at right now, is that you could basically assassinate someone's character with a 30-second clip.
Yeah. Yep.
But taking that out of a 5-hour interview. And that's the problem with today. So I respect the fact that you're not rushing to judgment on him because you haven't seen enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately in my industry, especially in the media, that happens, right?
Yeah.
One clip is taken and then a whole new story is created. And I think that's why I'm so aware and sensitive to making an assessment or a judgment without knowing as much about a person or situation.
And I love that about you
possible.
because you are in traditional mainstream media, legacy media, NBC.
Yes.
Yes, let's just leave it right there. Chelsea, you said you've never heard of this guy.
Stay there too. Yeah.
I'd like to stay.
No, I haven't. I definitely.
That's crazy because you specialize in social media.
I have to tell you though, in order for talking about work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
In order for me to be as productive as possible, I really cut out a lot of noise on the day to day, and more than ever since juggling motherhood. So, yeah.
You're good, Chelsea. Jen's staying, apparently.
I'm staying. Awesome. I got help. Mommy friends are the best friends.
Round of applause. Round of applause for Jen. She's staying. This is the life of a mom. She's balancing.
Thank you to my friends.
She's balancing being an anchor on TV, being a carpool, doing a podcast. Look at that.
Doable.
I'm sorry for the interruption.
No, you're great.
We love it.
Chelsea.
I haven't heard much of him. I'm just hearing what you're saying here. I mean, obviously, I would want to know more to make a bigger opinion. But for someone to have such hard, does he say that women should also up level throughout their life too, or is it just men should up level? They should keep growing. Women should just stay.
He believes in traditional gender roles.
Okay.
The traditional gender roles.
Right.
And he basically thinks that Western civilization is crumbling because of feminism, for the most part, and wokism. And basically, Rebecca can kind of weigh in on that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call wokism and feminism the same thing.
Okay, touche.
Yeah. But he's putting that in the mix.
But modern extreme feminism is kind of an element of woke culture, no?
A lot of it's intersectional.
Yes.
So you see you see Black Lives Matter, you see LGBTQ plus feminism. They all kind of
they put in like the same melting pot.
Yeah.
Kind of
And why do you think that is?
Alternate thinking.
I guess to feed the bigger narrative. I don't know.
And what's the bigger narrative? Without us all getting canceled over here and deleted.
This is why I told you guys I'm very problematic. Okay.
No, I don't think it's problematic.
I don't think you're problematic.
No, we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
She was like, I was like, I piss people off on TikTok. But yeah.
We're going to get to a clip where we just saw you on TikTok in a second.
Great.
So.
Perfect.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Great. I know. I think it just feeds the bigger narrative. And the thing is like with Andrew Tate, she didn't finish. Did she finish?
Oh, we'll go back to Chelsea. She ain't going anywhere.
So what I think is like, I don't think that he should have been canceled at all. I think that all voices need to be heard. Free speech is something that we should have, especially here. I know the laws are different in different countries and whatnot. But to be canceled, like, altogether and with all of these different companies, Uber, Airbnb, credit card companies.
I think crazy?
I think that's insane. It doesn't matter if you are, Trump or Andrew Tate or whoever. I think that everyone should have the ability to speak freely. And that's the biggest issue I have with this, because what it happens is that a lot of these conversations, a lot of these feelings and things that people are actually, racism and all that other stuff is actually being manipulated, and now people can't see it for what it is, right? You have to mask it with terms and stuff like that. So being transparent and showing that to people, like if that's who he is, if he's truly a misogynist, I would rather have that blatant out there for everyone to see. That's.
Was there a specific tweet or comment he made that was like, "This is why we're banning him"?
He's made many comments,
or just a compilation of comments.
There's the Andrew Tate thing is the Andrew Tate thing is a very interesting situation, because he's been banned for multiple things. He talks about the Matrix and getting out of the Matrix, so that's something that he's getting banned from the woke left, whatever you want to call it, right? And then on the other side, it's the misogyny. Everyone's painting him as a misogynist because he's saying that, men should lead, women should follow. And then on top of that, he also proclaims to be an Orthodox Christian, and he has multiple girlfriends and things of that nature, and thinks that high-value men should exercise their options. That's what he's being canceled for, a slew of different things.
Well, I asked him point blank, blank. I said, if you could point to the reasons, if there were odds on why you were canceled, whether it's the misogyny, whether that's, talking about women, talking about governments, talking about cancel culture, what you think it is. He goes, no, it's the
men.
No, it's not the misogyny. It's the fact that he's calling out the governments.
Yeah.
And basically, and whether that's, political governments or digital governments, YouTube, all kind of stuff like that. And he said that's why it is.
I would like to also make the point too, because he wants, I think his bigger mission is to help men be stronger, help men be, more masculine and step up. And I think that the broader society doesn't like that narrative being pushed. And also, he makes a lot of money. The man is a billionaire? I don't know.
No, he's got
multi-millionaire.
Okay,
multi-millionaire, right? The man's a multimillionaire. He can do whatever he wants. I think that he inspires young men to also aspire to that, right? And so I also think that has been problematic in the broader picture because, telling men to do better and be better has always been canceled. Look at Jordan Peterson. He was he's labeled an incel or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the narrative that I think he is trying to basically assess is that the most dangerous people in the world are young men who don't have a job and don't have a girl. Those are the people that turn into school shooters. They're angry, they're upset, they don't got a girl, and his whole thing is life's tough, bro. Get in the gym, work out, get outside, make friends, network, make money, just get better. So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire Soscast, click right here.